was Gavaskar, the real master. Just like a wall, we couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all.
Hello and welcome to episode 33 of our of the No Balls Cricket podcast. We have somehow managed to do a proper intro without fucking up.
I'm so shocked by that. I was like legit, my eyes went, I was ready to be like, fuck you, start or something, but no, nothing came out. He actually did an intro.
Yes, there we go.
There we go.
Well, no, I think the issue is last time around you cast aspersions on my status as a respected journalist, which you then threw into the video titles as well. So I realize now I have to step up my game a bit.
Right.
But yes, this is the actual respected journalist. That is Siddharth Pradhan, the university cricketer, former club cricketer, soon to be current club cricketer.
Soon to be current club cricketer as well. I just had a trial with the Didsbury Cricket Club, so that should be fun. That's what the next bit of the season is there for.
Can you say the name again of the cricket club?
Didsbury.
Didsbury. That's got to be like one of the most English. Like, can you get more English than a place called Didsbury having a cricket club?
Yes, you can.
What?
Ashton under Lyme.
Fair.
If anyone has been to Manchester or lives around Manchester, you will know these places. If you haven't, enjoy. Also, Ashton under Lyme has history with regards to Indian cricket. When India won the Test series in England against England here in 1986, they had a professional playing for Ashton under Lyme who actually ended up playing in the second Test. Any guesses as to who that was?
This is flying over my head, so I'll let you just reveal this.
So he wasn't in the original squad, and he ended up being pulled out because I think they had an injury to Chetan Sharma. So they pulled him out of club cricket to play the Test match and then sent him back.
I vaguely remember the story, but I can't tell. Like I definitely don't remember the name. So go on.
The cricketer in question is Madan Lal.
Yes, that jogs my memory.
So anyway, enough about Mancunian geography. Moving on.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, moving on to the episode. I hope everyone has got a chance to listen to the Mohinder Ramanath interviews and our last episode, which was, as we said that day, an anniversary episode for us. So we have finished 1 year.
Yep.
Any other note? I think that's more or less the housekeeping bit sorted.
No, wait, there is. You've forgotten one more bit.
Oh yes, and of course SP's dentistry podcast.
No, I wasn't going to do that.
Acha, then I don't know.
Have you noticed that there's an absence of there's a person missing? We're speaking about the West Indies, and there's the absence of somebody.
Oh no, I was gonna get to that, but because we hadn't revealed yet that we were speaking about the West Indies. But yes, today's episode is an India West Indies preview. We did want to have a West Indian on the show, but unfortunately, Mr. Ian Jagan has chickened out again. It's weird because he loves like poking at us on the WhatsApp group, but then he never wants to show up for the pod.
You know why? Any guesses?
Because he's a coward.
There we go. He's a coward. Anyway, on the show, of course, India versus West Indies. That's the main preview for this week. We will not do a roundup of all the crap T20 that's going on around the world because literally no one cares.
Yes. But there is still some stuff to get into the roundup. But
there is some stuff to get into the roundup. There are off-field issues that
Yes.
get into the roundup. So without further ado, let's get into the roundup.
Right. First things first, the Australians have retained the women's Ashes after winning the first ODI. That Test match we were talking about in the last episode had a very thrilling finish. Went down the last over. England were actually in with a shot to win. Just came up a few runs short while also being down to their last wicket. I think it was. Yeah.
They ended up 12 runs short and down to their last wicket, and it got from out of nowhere. England should have cruised that game, but there was a bit of a collapse. And
Big surprise.
having said that, chops to them. They had a go. 256, I think it was, in 44 overs to win, and they had a proper go.
Yeah, they had a proper go. It was genuinely a thrilling finish to the Test match. It was quite similar to actually the India's Test match. Right? I mean, India's Test match wasn't as thrilling, but also like a very hard fought draw when India went to Australia late last year. But yeah, similar scenes there. The West Indies women are in South
What
Africa
test
for
are
a
you
tour.
talking? Hang on, what test are you talking about? Were you talking about Sydney?
No, I'm talking about the India women's test.
Say that. No, I'm getting confused.
The context is England women and Australia, so obviously
specify, no.
It's just the obvious reference there. Anyway, moving on. The West Indies women are in South Africa. That ODI series is tied 1-1. It's I think a 4-match series. The first one got
thrilling series. There was a tie in that as well. First one got rained out. There was a tie in the
first one got rained. Second one went to a super over, and the West Indies women won. Big surprise. The West Indies winning a 1-over eliminator is not surprising, I guess.
No, not really. Oh, and of course, what we didn't finish last week, where you thought they won the series, well, they actually did win the series against England, the T20 series.
Yes. The West Indies men did actually win the series. They came very close to throwing that series away, which I think our Guyana crew was very afraid about, and honestly getting quite pissed off because it's effectively England's B team that was there. But West Indies finished that series.
Jason Holder 4-4. He becomes only the second man to do that. Curtis Camphor is the other one, believe that. And of course, the third man overall in limited overs cricket. The first, obviously, was Lasith Malinga.
Yes.
Don't really need to go too much into that. 4-4 at the end of the final T20 IIT series. It was an England B team. There was no Joss Butler, no Ben Stokes. Owen Morgan got injured, so
no Johnny Bairstow as well, but
no Johnny Bairstow either. And also there is Kyron Pollard singing the first two verses of a song by Sizzler in the presentation. So if you're West Indian rather, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to go into that. You gotta say. Yeah.
Right. Yes, the rest of the roundup is going to focus a little bit on all the off-field issues that keep happening.
All the off-field issues,
India. But yes, there's also off-field issues with England. England have sacked their coach and their director after their Ashes humbling. Ashley Giles and Chris Silverwood both are now out of jobs.
Not surprised that, here's the timeline of it. Giles gets sacked first because I think he was sacked by Tom Harrison, the CEO. He then gets replaced on an interim basis by Andrew Strauss, who then proceeds to sack Chris Silverwood.
I wonder if this then ends with Joe Root also getting sacked, but we'll see.
So, another Manchester reference, Sackville Street.
Right.
Again, if you're not from Manchester, you will not understand this. Right, moving on. So that's basically our roundup for the day. Oh, and also one last bit from the BCCI. The women's IPL will not happen again. It is going to be a 4-team women's T20 challenge. Oh, and also one more update from the IPL. The Lucknow team has their official name. And it is... Take it away, man. I can't.
I mean, actually, the even better thing about the Lucknow team is when they revealed their new logo, and it literally looked like something you and I could have made in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, and so Twitter blew up because the question obviously on Twitter was, you got paid for that?
Yeah, exactly. But point being, yes, they are unsurprisingly called the Lucknow Super Giants because it's the same group that owned the Pune team, the erstwhile.
There is an Australian in that group. I'm telling you, there is an Australian in that group. Nobody else can come up with a name that no one cares about.
Quite possible. But yes, also their logo, exactly like we said, just looks like the most basic amateur sort of thing. But of course, it hits all the right notes. It's got blue and it's got the other three colors of the Indian flag. So therefore,
and of course, it has a cricket bat in the middle.
Yeah. Sorted.
Yeah.
Everything. Just basically like someone got a design brief saying, we want the Indian colors and we want some cricket thing, then bas ho gaya. Just combined it somehow.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Right. So that's basically the roundup for the day. Right. India versus the West Indies. 3 T20Is and then 3 ODIs. Or am I getting it the wrong way around?
It's the ODIs first.
Oh, sorry. It's the ODIs first.
3 ODIs and 3 20Is. Yeah.
So the interesting bit, obviously, is the Indian ODI squad. You have the the usual suspects. Rohit Sharma's back, but KL Rahul, Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Rahul, if I remember correctly, is missing the first test. First ODI. He's like, I think, about to have a kid or something, so he's rested for that first match.
So here are the interesting ones, right? We spoke a lot at the end of the South Africa series saying that India needed to bring either some new talent in or bring back wrist spin. They've done both.
Yeah.
They've done both. They've done both. But then, of course, they've been hit by this whole COVID thing.
Yeah, that's the proper scare. I think Navdeep Saini, Shikhar Dhawan, Shreyas Iyer, and Ruturaj Gaikwad have gotten it.
Yeah, so too apparently is Rishabh Pant. Oh no, sorry, Rishabh Pant hasn't got it. But you look at the rest of the squad. There's Rohit Sharma, Ruturaj Gaikwad obviously might be missing. Dhawan's got it. Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer should be fit to play. So will Pant. The bowling, you'd think Deepak Chahar would play. I really want to watch Ravi Bishnoi play a game. I think that's something to watch out for. Also, I want to see Washington Sundar in the team. I don't know about Kuldeep Yadav coming back.
It was a very strange, I don't know on what basis he's been brought back. It's not like there's form or some numbers to back that up. It's probably just like they're hoping that he's a little more confident and better mentally, and then he can sort of hit the same form that he'd hit before the 2019 World Cup. But no, I mean, interesting selection, that one.
The other one's Prasidh Krishna, Avesh Khan. Well, there was an interesting thing about Avesh Khan, actually. They said that if he played an international in the series, his IPL base price would jump.
Yeah.
Because he'd go into a different pot.
Yeah, which would make a difference. But I honestly do want to see him play. I thought he had a pretty good IPL the last time around. I honestly probably did enough to be picked at least part of the squad for last year's T20 World Cup. And yeah, just probably has definitely earned his selection.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah, it's hard to pick an 11 from that. If you can see, this is the squad that's on your screen. Hard to pick an 11 from that, isn't it?
Yeah, apart from the usual suspects, we know, like you said, Rohit and Kohli are in. Pant is probably in by default. The rest of it is a bit up in the air, especially Rahul will be in for the matches he's available, but I think the rest of the squad
the only other two, Pant obviously will play. I think the only other two that pick themselves are both Chahar and Shardul Thakur.
Yeah. Chahar, honestly, it's, you and I have sort of kind of slated him a lot because we probably don't rate him as highly as others do. But as far as new ball bowling and limited overs go, he's one of the best options we have now.
No, definitely. For the West Indies in the ODI series, and bear in mind the last ODI series they played, they lost to who?
Who did they lose to last?
I wonder. He's not here for me to say this, man. Damn it. They lost an ODI series to Ireland.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Do you want me to say it louder?
Yeah. For anyone
Ireland.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an interesting squad. Not players that I would think would be in there. Like some people like Nkrumah Bonner and Shamar Brooks. I thought that's an interesting few selections, isn't it? But other than that, Kyle Pollard's the captain. Darren Bravo somehow is in the squad. Don't ask me why. Shimron Hetmeyer has been dropped on fitness grounds, apparently. Shai Hope is in there.
For over a year. He didn't get picked last year also on fitness grounds.
Yeah. My favorite players in there as well. Fabulous Ian. Fabian Allen.
Fabian Allen, the
But
guy who's ruined my IPL draft last year.
yeah, God bless his soul. But no, people to watch out for: Fabian Allen, Jason Holder. Brandon King should get a game, which will be interesting. Obviously, Nicholas Puran as well. And one for me to tell you and watch out for: Akil Hussein. I think he's going to be really good.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Akil Hussein. I mean, he showed off a little bit in the England series, and yeah, he's good limited overs option for them.
Yeah. No, and I do think he's a good bowler. I mean, unlike a certain Guyanese left arm spinner who shall remain nameless on this show, he can actually spin a ball.
I'm sure everyone knows who you're talking about.
If you don't know, his name's Veersamy Permaul.
Yeah, that one.
Sorry, I just wanted to finish off by saying he's the West Indian version of Shahbaz Nadeem. Or hang on, is it the other way around? Is Shahbaz Nadeem the Indian version of Veersamy Permaul?
I think like Shahbaz at least did well in domestic cricket. I don't know if Veersamy Permaul has done that either.
It's
like
West
even
Indian
that much.
It's West Indian domestic cricket. It isn't difficult to do well. Nikita
Yeah, so
Miller
by
has
those
a first-class average of 12. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But I'm sorry, that West Indian squad does not inspire any confidence. Regardless of who India play, I still think it's going to be 3-0.
I don't know. The last time we hosted them for an ODI series, they did compete pretty well. I think there are players in there who
that's because Shai Hope. That was at a time when Shai Hope could bat.
Yeah,
he could bat like Bradman. Now he's forgotten how to. Different story. So Shai Hope can't bat, which means that leaves them with no batsman.
The other thing is, I'm not convinced about their fast bowling attack at the moment. I know Kemar Roach is in there. I know Alzari Joseph's a big name, but he's kind of been
Holder,
down.
Well, you have Jason Holder, and you have you look at the rest of that fast bowling attack: Kemar Roach, Romario Shepherd, Odean Smith. That's not bad.
Yeah, I just feel like it can be gotten at, is my point. Like they showed even in the England series that you can attack them. They're not, there's no like nailed on, Yorker specialist or death specialist or new ball specialist. Like they'll have their ups and downs.
It's the West Indies. They're a shit one-day team. Everybody knows this. They lost to Ireland. Can we? Yeah.
Sheldon Cottrell's in the T20 side. I don't know if that's probably the only big difference.
We'll get to the T20 team in a minute, and I think there's a huge difference between the two teams. And I don't expect Hayden Walsh to play in the ODIs. Actually, I'd be very surprised if he does.
He's the only wrist spinner they have, right? Who else do they have as a wrist spinner?
No, but I don't think they'll play a wrist spinner. I think they'll play both Fabian and Akil Hussein. So have two left-arm spinners. Remember, India don't have a lot of left-handers in that lineup.
That's true. With Shikhar out, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so the matchup
only have Rishabh Pant.
Well, unless you play Washington Sundar.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting one. Going to the T20 squads, I think India missed a trick by not having Ishan Kishan in the one-day squad as well.
Yeah, I think so too. He should be tried out. I'm just a couple of people who are on standby who I think are interesting, and I would have loved to see them in the squad, especially Shah Rukh Khan. But also, Sai Kishore, his Tamil Nadu teammate, both really good T20 options.
Yep, definitely. I mean, the rest of the squad really more or less remains the same with the additions of Venkatesh Iyer, and Akshar Patel and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Bhuvi not missing out on the ODI squad is an interesting one, isn't it? Especially if he's in the T20s.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a workload management thing where they think he's now just someone who's better over 4 overs rather than 10. Maybe that's the case.
Maybe. Well, quite possible.
Yeah.
The West Indian T20 squad, you're right, does look a bit odd, considering that they played. They don't have Evan Lewis, and Kyle Mayers opened in the last game against England and did rather well.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. They obviously at the top is where they're looking to maybe refresh a little with Chris Gale gone and people
Yeah,
like Kevin
yeah.
Lewis and
No, absolutely. But how Darren Bravo still makes this team, I have no idea. Can somebody in the West Indies please tell me one thing, just one thing? Who has he bribed? Somebody he's khilawed. He's bribed someone. Who is that person? I mean, Darren Bravo has not done anything of note in 10 years.
We need to find out if his brother has somehow gotten into the selection panel after retiring.
That he might be right. Right. Yeah. So the squad basically remains the same. It'd be interesting.
There's a difference. The batting. They have Rodman Powell coming into the T20 squad. He's not in the ODI squad. I mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
Sheldon Cotton.
Yeah.
And Roston Chase. So there is a little bit of a different look to the T20 squad comparatively.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, similar sort of squads, but it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting.
I think,
see.
and also, we know. I mean, we are going off of team reputation, I guess, a bit more, but you expect them to be a better T20 side than they are an ODI side, and India kind of in a bit of a spunk, limited overs, so that seems to be.
Sorry, my mistake. Kyle Mayer is the man behind the miracle. Is in the T20 squad. He isn't in the ODI squad. That was my mistake.
Yeah,
I apologize for that one. Yeah,
isn't that what you said?
No, I said he wasn't in there, so I was a bit surprised by that.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I thought you said he wasn't there anyway. But yes, Kalmev is in.
Yeah, is in the T20 squad. But he's not in the ODI squad, which is a bit odd.
I don't know what their ODI squad is. I feel like it could be. I feel like they're just trying things out, which is fine, I guess. They have a year till the World Cup, or roughly a year to the World Cup. Figure out your side in the meantime.
Yeah, it's the West Indies. They've been trying things since 1995. Nothing's worked. Pot shots. Anyway, the T20I squad, I think they actually have an edge because they've got big six hitters and small grounds in India. Remember? Yeah. Pollard, Powell, Puran. So and even Kyle Mayers can hit a long ball. So I think they'll actually do much better in the T20Is than they will in the ODIs.
Yeah, I'm just remembering. So the ODI series is entirely in Ahmedabad, and the T20 series is entirely in Kolkata. So yes,
Kolkata also quicker pitch, smaller boundaries. So could be fun. Remember that. Ahmedabad, we all know why it's in Ahmedabad.
I mean, Ahmedabad used to host matches before as well, but yeah, we do know why it's currently one of two host cities for the series right now. It has not. It's obviously only because it's the hometown of BCCI's general secretary or vice president or president or whatever his title.
No,
is.
You forgot. It's the hometown of the supreme leader.
No, come on. That has nothing to do with it. Why are you
in the stadium that's named after him?
Come on, these are pure cricketing reasons.
Also, the hometown of the secretary of the BCCI, who from henceforth shall be known as Chief Pappu.
That's what I mean. It's because of him. Like he's just getting a little bit of favors for his BCCI.
Sure, it's because of Chief Pappu. Anyway, quick predictions before we move on.
I think. Honestly, I'm going 2-1 India in the ODI series and 2-1 West Indies in the T20 series.
I'm going 3-0 India in the ODI series because I just think the West Indies are a terrible ODI team. They can't bat 50 overs. And the T20Is, yes, I will go 2-1 to the West Indies because I look at that Indian team and I'm thinking there's no X factor about it.
Yeah, there really isn't. And we're kind of like.
I mean, I don't want to dwell too much because we've already spoken a lot about Indian T20 cricket. But you look at that side and you're thinking, who are the guys that are going to keep hitting? The problem now that they have is Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, who essentially play the same way, are captain and vice captain. You can't drop them. So what, you're going to drop Virat Kohli?
Well, the thing is, KL Rahul in T20s when he plays for India scores a lot quicker than when he plays for Punjab. Rohit Sharma, that's the thing. Like you play Rohit and Kohli together, if they're both gonna anchor, I just don't understand how that works as a setup for a T20 side anymore. So one of them definitely has to start upping the pace. I think Rohit is probably the better guy to do that.
I
So,
still think that
we-
Ishan. I still think we need Ishan Kishan in that top order simply because A, he's left-handed, and B, he's quick when he bats. He bats really quickly. He scores his runs in a hurry. The one person I really want to see play in both squads is Ravi Bishnoi. I think
Yeah, I really want to see how Bishnoi does.
I think that's where we're going at. But yeah, 3-0 in the ODIs for me, 2-1 T20I series.
2-1 to India.
2-1 to the West
2-1 to
Indies.
West Indies.
2-1 to the West Indies in the T20Is. I think they'll enjoy the quicker pitch in Calcutta as well.
Yeah, that's true. The conditions probably favor India a bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
In the 1 days, I mean.
In the 1 days, yeah, for sure. I mean, slightly slow wickets and yeah. All right. On that very happy note, it is time to move on to my favorite segment. I'm not doing the whole blasted intro. You all know what it is.
Thank you.
No, but before we go into that, here's a video of an orangutan driving a golf cart.
Yes. For no reason other than.
But no reason other than, yeah. Right. It is time for our favorite segment now. Our favorite segment is called the No Balls Cricket Awards. Take it away.
So you don't want to do the dumb intro, but you will still do the dumb voice.
Yeah, no shit. I'm just trying to speed everything up here. Well, minus the orangutan video.
Fine. You're the one who's handing this award out. So I don't know. Do you want me to give some very dramatic preamble to it? Because I can.
First of all, I have not seen the whole of the West Indies and England T20I series. Do we have a no balls cricket award or no? Like a regular no ball award?
I don't think there was a wicket of a no ball in that series, as far as I remember.
Okay, excellent. On that very happy note, it is time to move into the award that we've all come here for today. It is No Balls Cricket's first ever Moral Compass Award. And you know the best bit about the Moral Compass Award? He's going to hate who it goes to. This is the best bit. He's going to hate it. I'm giving out this award simply because there's a certain gentleman from Australia who was offered a 6-figure bonus and said, no, I am not taking it because it is morally not right when other people who are not getting paid are suffering because of COVID. That man, believe it or not, I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth, is the Australian coach Justin Langer. So Justin Langer, hang on, does the moral compass point north or south? I'm not sure. It's Australia. On that happy note, Justin Langer, you win our first ever Moral Compass Award. So slow claps. Now we can ask Mr. Devrat what he feels about it.
I mean, yeah, really nice gesture. Great. Justin Langer's still the person who knocked off the bails with his hands and then appealed for a bold one. So,
Yeah, we never said gamesmanship on the cricket field was bad.
I mean, that's still morally incorrect. It's just a different level of morals, I guess. But Australian cricket on pitch morals has never really been Australia's strong suit. So off pitch, chalo. If apparently they do have some, that's great.
Also, shithousery award for the week. We actually have to go back to last week for it. This is from the day before the BBL final. Dan Christian, take a bow. Just take a bow. Oh my God, this was brilliant. So he tweets, obviously, if you can see it on the screen. But the line goes, we need 11 fit players, preferably those who have not played international cricket, to represent the Sydney Sixers. Was it international cricket?
I can't remember the exact tweet, but now if you're in a little bit of doubt, I'm just gonna pull it up.
Yeah, just pull it up for me. Excuse us while we fact check.
I mean, this is
stupid when he fact checks.
This This is why I'm the respected journalist. I have to make sure we get this right. Anyway, here's the tweet. Shout out to anyone in Melbourne that wants a game of cricket tomorrow night. My team is struggling to get 11 COVID-free fit players on the park. Warm-up starts at 6:30 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. And anyone came with an asterisk. The asterisk was no test cricketers.
Oh, no test cricketers. Yeah, fair enough.
But there's a reason for that. If no one knows, basically Steve Smith was sort of not allowed to play in the BBL because he'd not sort of after the Ashes series had ended, he hadn't been in a bubble, so then he couldn't be declared like past whatever COVID free, COVID fit, whatever, to get into his T20 squad.
Needless to say, they were so COVID ravaged that their assistant coach ended up taking part in the game. And they actually, to be fair to the Sydney Sixers, had the Perth Scorchers at, I think, 20 odd for 3 or 20 odd for 4 at one point. Then, of course, ended up conceding 170 and then got rolled over for 98.
Yeah, not that surprising.
But well done, Dan Christian. You win Shithousery. No, is it Shithousery Award? Yes, it is Shithousery Award for the week.
Yeah.
To be fair, the only reason this is significant is that there has been an Australian cricketer who one day randomly turned up to a T20 game with no kit. And because somebody got injured, he was asked to play. He then went and made 85 in that game and went on to have a long, storied career for Australia. Any guesses who that is, Mr. Devrat?
I know, but I'm just going to let you finish.
No, I'm letting you have this. I'm letting you have
You're doing your whole build-up and suspense and all of that. So like,
I'm letting you have this one. I'm letting you have this one because you're going to hate it.
I'm not. We're talking about Australian cricket. I hate it by default. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to hate it any extra now.
Fine. I'll finish then because you're wasting too much of my time. The answer to that question is David Warner. He became the first player to play for Australia without having played first-class cricket in over 100 years. And, of course, the rest is history. Storied career. Well, I mean, storied career, yes. I mean, lots of stories.
Yeah, checkered career is what I'd call it so far. But sure.
Can't argue with the triple hundreds.
But can argue with a lot of things that David Warner has done. So it's fine.
Stop it. Okay. Also, before we leave, one last thing to end the show. Who in the blue hell is Tom Brady? There is only one GOAT in the cricket world, and in the sporting world, rather, and his name is Nathan Lyon. Who in the blue hell is Tom Brady?
As we really needed to get this out because he just,
Okay,
he's never watched American football.
Stop. We don't need to hear you describe and discuss this anymore. I'm done.
No, I don't want to describe and discuss American football. I just want to describe and discuss your built-up frustration after spending some time on Twitter this week.
Nobody needs to hear that shit.
Nobody needed to hear it anyway. You could have just not said anything, but it's okay. I had my Australia rants. You can have yours. Anyway, yes. Speaking of Australian cricket, the last thing I do want to mention, because we forgot it in the roundup, is that Australia's under-19 team had a good run at the World Cup until they ran into our home country's team. India had a terrific showing in that semi-final against Australia. They're playing England now in the final. Just
that would be a very exciting. That's going to be an exciting game. It starts 10 a.m. Caribbean time, 2 p.m. in England, and I think 7:30 in India.
It's very likely that by the time you see or hear this episode, that match will be done. But yeah,
hopefully we get it out before the match starts. So hopefully, don't count on it. Don't count on it. On that slightly somber note, it is time to end. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you haven't checked out the Mohinder Ramanath interviews, do check them out. The links are in the description and flashing out on the screen in front of you. Have a good rest of your week.
Yes, and you can listen to us on all our different platforms that you guys know already, but I'll just read it out: Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, and if you want links to the Mohinder Mohinder Amarnath interview. It's there in our blog post. And you can just scroll on to previous episodes on the platform you're using.
Thank you all very much for watching. Have a good rest of your week.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to remain notified for all our upcoming videos and the rest of our content. And if you guys are listening on any of our audio channels, you can listen to us on Spotify, Podcast Addict, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts as well.